news out this morning is that FirstRand has made an offer to buy what's left of Barnard Jacobs Mellet after Renaissance Capital buys its Securities business. The acquisition will be part of an expansion of FNB's wealth business. Here to tell us more are Andile Mazwai, he's the CEO of Barnard Jacobs Mellet, FNB CEO Michael Jordaan as well. Gents, thanks for coming in today. Andile, you've been through our studios quite a few times in the last couple of months. Of course, you gave us no indication when you came in to chat about the results that this was on the pipeline. And is that BJM sold lock, stock and barrel if this deal goes ahead?
Correct, that's it. Thanks for having me on the show, Stephen. This is the culmination of our strategy. We had a retail business and a wholesale business under the same roof, and that explains the Renaissance transaction. That was our institutional business going off to Renaissance. It left us with this business. We're very happy to have it, but what we needed was a strategic partner that could make sure that it continues to grow. Our concern was that being listed with the market cap that we have would always be struggling to get capital for our growth ambitions.
Well, what's your plans, Michael, for this as the strategic partner? What's your plans for the private client business?
Well, we see this as buying a truck, not a case of loading an existing truck. We like the business as a standalone business. We think it's the premier private client stockbroking operation in town. So our plan is to treat it as business as usual. It's going to be a standalone operation, obviously working alongside the other FNB wealth businesses. But our first priority is just to stabilize staff and stabilize customers.
A standalone operation, will it keep the BJM branding?
Yeah, I think it's something which we both recognize, that the BJM brand stands for so much and that it is important that it is kept as part of the ongoing business. So what we're telling our clients today is that it's business as usual. The BJM brand, the BJM identity and the client experience will continue as they are.
And of course, we know FirstRand itself is going through some changes. You have FNB Private Clients, RMB Private Bank as well within this stable. Will you be keeping RMB Private Bank post the Metropolitan Momentum merger?
We get asked that question quite often, and we do self-introspection about it. The back offices are in fact similar, so there's no duplication there. But we do find that perceptually, the RMB Private Bank brand competes better with Investec and the likes of BOE, whereas the FNB brand is better for our existing customer base of some 6.5 million customers. So for the time being, we think that those are appropriate strategies. But interestingly, when you put those two client bases together, we have some 45,000 wealth customers in South Africa. These are customers earning more than 1.1 million a year. And now with the addition of BJM, there'll be another 11,000 customers to add to that wealth base. So it really catapults us in the wealth segment.
What happens to your 11,000 customers? As Michael said, they'll be added to the 45,000 customers they have over at FNB Wealth. I mean, are they going to be getting the same service? Will they be getting better service? I mean, does the offering just expand and cost perhaps fall for them?
Yes, perhaps the easiest selling point. We say to our clients, you continue to enjoy the BJM experience. What we're adding now is all the depth of the product and service that their FirstRand group can provide. So whether it's via RMB or via FNB, all of that. For example, banking is something that we haven't been able to offer our clients. This is now something which BJM clients will be afforded.
Of course, FirstRand also has the institutional business through RMB Morgan Stanley. How does this kind of complete the offering for FirstRand and for FNB customers?
Well, frankly, the transaction would have been a lot tougher to execute had it contained both the wholesale and the private client business.
Because you would have had that, yeah.
Quite right, because there's a RMB Morgan Stanley joint venture. So the fact that Renaissance Capital bought the wholesale business made it a lot easier for us to digest what I said is a standalone business, and it will continue like that.
And of course, your business is built up, is made of the staff of the brokers and all of the advisors in there. Are they going to get lost into the FNB machinery?
No, definitely not. The idea of it being a standalone business is that we look to preserve that. So the organizational structure of BJM, the management structure of BJM, all of those then continue to exist. What we will, of course, do is to look to leverage of the best practice that an FNB already does have. But no, our people will continue. And so the relationship between our service provider individuals and our clients, those relationships continue.
And will you all be moving across to Fredman?
No, there isn't an intention to do that. We've got our own infrastructure in place. Certainly in time, we'll take a look at it. If we can get a better deal and it makes sense, we'll do it. But we're not going to do it just simply for the sake of doing it because we've done a transaction. We've got to look at what suits the business and what suits our clients best.
Michael, the deal works out to just under 450 million rand. How's that going to be funded?
Well, we're in a fortunate position to have adequate capital and to have adequate cash resources, so it'll just come out of internally generated cash and capital resources. I do need to just explain the deal, though, that post the Renaissance Capital deal, there's also some 200 million rand of cash actually in BJM, so the net purchase price is actually that 200 million rand less. And we think that's a very attractive price to pay for South Africa's premier private client stockbroking business, and that doesn't even take account of the significant opportunities we see to grow profit in future.
Shareholder support, of course, BJM is controlled by its directors, isn't it? So it shouldn't be a huge problem.
Yeah, the directors do have a meaningful say. Our external shareholder base, being the institutions, is also quite large. As we announced the transaction this morning, we've got more than 60% of irrevocables which have been signed by our shareholders. We need 75, so we fully anticipate that this is going to enjoy shareholder support.
And have you been sounding out those institutional shareholders?
Yeah, we have spoken with some of them. We brought them across the wall, so they signed those irrevocables, meaning they will vote in favor of the transaction. And now that everybody knows about the transaction, we will then continue to make sure we get up to that 75% mark, which we fully anticipate to get to.
Of course, along with private clients, you're also going to be taking on corporate finance, BJM Insurance, FinSettle Services, BJM US and UK. Do you plan to keep those? How are you going to integrate those into your business?
Yes, those existing operations we'd like to integrate into the appropriate areas in FirstRand, and they are not the big part of the deal, though. The major business, which is private clients, will remain as is.
Your part in all this, will you be moving across as well, Andile? Has he offered you a job?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's something that I'm very excited about. This is the growth vector that we've seen in our business, and I'm very excited about being part of the FNB business.
Okay, just a final aside, and it's totally an aside. Michael, World Cup, FNB's involvement, how's that paying off for you? Is it worthwhile?
Well, first of all, you should be happy that some of us are doing some work while the World Cup is being played. So it's been a great deal. Yes, we think it's paid off. I mean, a lot of our exposure actually came in the 3 or 4 years before the World Cup. We deliberately toned it down a bit during the World Cup because the rates for advertising are very expensive. But certainly what we can see with our customers and with our staff involvement is that this is a wonderful time for South Africa, despite the disappointment of the Bafana team.